Hare Krishna, all the devotees. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 8. The first Chapter 8, Manifestation of Brahma from Vishnu, and verse 12. So before we go into the verse, I would like to offer prayers. Om Gyantimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam tam sajivam Savdetam Savdutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Narayanam Namaskrityam, Naram Chaiva Narottamam, Devim Saraswatim Vyasam, Tato Jayo Udirayet. Chinvatam Swakatha Krishna, Punya Shavana Kirtanam, Hidyanti Astu Patrani, Vidunoti Suhit Satam. Nashtaprayeshu Padreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. So today we are reading verse 12 from chapter 8, canto 3. I'll recite the verse. Chaturyuganam cha sahasramapasu Chaturyuganam cha sahasramapasu Swapanam Sayodirita Swashaktya kāla-śakti Ditakarma Tantro Lokan Pitanad Drishyasvayahadehe. Word to word. Chatu, 4. Yuganam, of the millenniums. Cha, also. Sahasram, 1000, apasu, in the water, swapanam, swapan, dreaming in sleep, swaya, with his internal potency, udiritaya, for further development, swashaktya, by his own energy, kāla-śakti, something is popping up on my laptop again and again. Okay. Asadita, being so engaged. Karma tantra, in the matter of fruitive activities. Lokan, the total living entities. Apitan, bluish. The darshe, saw it so. Swadehe, in his own body. Translation. The Lord lay down for 1,000 cycles of 4 yugas in his internal potency, and by his external energy, he appeared to be sleeping within the water. When the living entity were coming out for fulfillment of their fruitive activities, actuated by the energy kāla-śakti, he saw his transcendental body as bluish. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. In the Vishnu Purana, kāla-śakti is mentioned as avidya. The symptom of the influence of kāla-śakti is that one has to work in the material world for fruitive results. The fruitive workers are described in Bhagavad Gita as mudhas or foolish. Such living entities are very enthusiastic to work for some temporary benefit within perpetual bondage. One thinks himself very clever throughout his life if he is able to leave behind a great asset of wealth for his children. And to achieve this temporary benefit, he takes the risk of all sinful activities without knowledge that such activities will keep him perpetually bound by the shackles of material bondage. Due to this polluted mentality and due to material sins, the aggregate combination of living entities appeared to be bluish. Such an impetus of activity for fruitive result is made possible by the dictation of external energy of the Lord, Kala. So in this verse, it's been talked about kāla-śakti, which is the time energy of the Lord, an external energy of the Lord, and how the living entities, they work under the influence of kāla-śakti and thinking themselves the proprietors, the enjoyers, and the owner of their own body, their whatever wealth they have accumulated, their family. So they think that they are the ones who are after their success, so-called success in this material life. And in Bhagavad Gita, these fruitive workers are referred as mudhas or fools, because they are working very hard, very enthusiastically, but they are going to get the temporary benefit for a certain period of time from these activities. And these fruitive workers, these living entities, they work hard, and they want the reason they are working hard is they want to collect a great amount of wealth for themselves so that they can enjoy, and they also want to leave a good amount of wealth for their children, for their family. And this is what they consider success of the material life. This is what they think, that they have been successful. That's why for this reason, they go to schools, colleges, they achieve big degrees, and they go to these universities, and they think that if they get all these degrees, they're going to get a good job or good work, good business, and they'll get a lot of money out of all these businesses and jobs, and then they will be happy, and their senses will be satisfied. And then due to this great labor, what happens? They collect a pile of sinful activities, and due to which they are being bound in the shackles of material energy.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, something happened to my laptop. Okay. Yeah, so So yeah, the example I was mentioning about the example, how the fruitive workers, they attain a lot of wealth, and in due course of getting the wealth, they collect tons of sinful activities, and which they have to for which they have to suffer at the end of their lives. And one example I was mentioning, that once a man was dying, leaving his body, and the Yamadutas, they appeared, and the Yamadutas asked the man, so because you have done so much sinful activities in your past life, you're going to go to the hell, and let's go. Then he said, I did everything for my family, for my wife, for my children, for my friends, from my relatives. So I would like to ask them, like, if they want to share some sinful reactions of sinful activities with me. And then he asked his wife. His wife said, no, I won't share the results. You did it. You have to deal with it. And then he asked his children. They said no. He asked his friends and relatives. Everybody said no. We won't share the results of the reactions. But they all enjoyed whatever wealth he accumulated on the basis of so many sins that he did. But they all enjoyed, but they don't want to take the share of the sinful reactions. So I was also thinking that I actually asked Sita, we were discussing this verse, and I asked her, what do you think about this verse? She said, Mummy, it looks like Prabhupada is talking about Grihamedis in this verse. So I said, yes. And then we went to Canto 2nd, chapter 1st, where there are 3 verses back to back talked about the fruitive workers, or living entities who are completely engrossed in materialistic life and how they suffer. So I would like to read some lines from that verse, or these verses. Those persons, this is Canto 2nd, chapter 1st, verse number 2. Those persons who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth, have many subject matters for hearing in human society. Purport. The Grihamedis are those who live for the benefit of the family members, extended or centralized, and thus are envious of others. The word Medhi means jealousy of others. The Grihamedis, being interested in family affairs, only are certainly envious of others. Therefore, one Grihamedi is not in good terms with another Grihamedi. Factually, the human life is meant for making an ultimate solution to birth, death, old age, and disease, but the Grihamedis, being illusioned by the material nature, forget everything about self-realization. The ultimate solution to the problems of life is to go back to Godhead. So there's a word called Grihamedi. Grihamedi means, Griha means home, and Medhi means envious. People, so the families who are envious of other families, they are called Grihamedis. And we see in Kali Yuga, every single family is people in general, they are Grihamedis, because the force they are running on is the force of being envious of others. The reason they want big house, because they want a bigger house from somebody else. The reason they want a bigger car, a better car, because they want a better car from others. So nobody is satisfied from their present situation, and they want to achieve more and more and more. And they run after this envy or jealousy from others, and they spend their entire life running after this. And another one beautiful point in one of the purport is written that because human life is a combination of matter and spirit soul, The whole process of Vedic knowledge is directed at liberating the spirit soul from the contamination of matter. The knowledge concerning this is Atma Tattva. So the human life is a combination of spirit soul and the matter. And the purpose of human life is to separate, is to get out of this contamination of material life. And this Vedic knowledge is called Atma Tattva. But Gramadis, or these people, they are not interested in learning anything about this Atma Tattva, because they are very busy. During the day, they are very busy in working really hard. And at night, either they are sleeping or engaged in sense enjoyment. They have no interest. And they, being devoid of this Atma Tattva, they don't inquire about the real problems of material life, which is birth, death, old age, and disease. They think eventually we're gonna, with the help of material science, we are getting rid of the diseases. Eventually, with the help of material science, we'll get rid of old age and death. And that's why they're working hard, investing so much time and effort and energy into getting these temporary benefits. And so these people, they are devoid of Atma Tattva, and they don't inquire about the problems of life. And being too much attached to their family members, these fallible soldiers, in Bhagavatam says fallible soldiers. Why? Because they all are going to fall one day. Our body, our family, wife, children, friends, relatives, they're all fallible soldiers, because we cannot depend on them. The only person who's infallible is Krishna, the mercy of Krishna and Guru. So that's the only thing we have which is infallible. And they're also experienced, we are also experienced that our fathers, therefore our forefathers, everybody has gone under the influence of time. But we think that we can somehow win the situation, we can somehow make some solution out of the material problems, and then we don't have to die. We just think that we live forever. So in here it says that this material world is the world of death. Every living being, beginning from Brahma, whose duration of life is some thousands of years, some thousands of millions of years, down to the germs who live for a few seconds only, is struggling for existence. Therefore, this life is sort of a fight with material nature, which imposes death upon all. In the human form of life, a living being is competent enough to come to an understanding of this great struggle for existence. But being too attached to the family members, society, country, etc., he wants to win over the invincible material nature by the aid of bodily strength, children, wife, etc. Although he is sufficiently experienced in the matter by dint of past experience and previous examples of his diseased predecessors, he does not see that the so-called fighting soldiers, like children, relatives, society members, and countrymen, are all fallible in the great struggle. One should examine the fact that his father or his father's father has already died, and that he himself is therefore also sure to die. And similarly, his children, who would be fathers of their children, will also die in the due course. No one will survive in this struggle with material nature. Yeah, so this is the fact. We are depending on these soldiers, so-called fighting soldiers, like our own body, the strength of our own body, wife, children, family, but eventually, and committing so many sinful reactions under the kāla-śakti, thinking that we're going to win over this material nature, but no one will survive in their struggle. So there's one analogy given in the same verse. It's verse number 4. It's the analogy of ocean, how the material nature is considered as the great ocean. And in ocean, we see there is water, there are waves, and we see the bubbles, the foams form when the water collapses at the shore. So it's in Bhagavatam, Prabhupada Ji is comparing this material world as this vast ocean, and these waves are considered as the kāla-śakti, the time. And these foams or the bubbles are forming, they are the living entities, how they are forming, coming into existence and then disappearing. And that this process is continuously going on from time immemorial. So I was thinking this is such a wonderful example. Also, I was thinking about the example of Gajendra, how Gajendra was, he was completely happy, and he was with his family, wife and children, he was happy, and he was busy basically in his so-called daily routine. And one day everything flipped, like his life turned upside down when he went to the waters, and the crocodile grabbed his foot, and he realized that his family, whom he was depending upon, nobody could help him. They tried, everybody tried, but nobody could do anything. And then they went back home. They turned around. So I was thinking, what is the way? What is the solution? Bhagavatam tells us the solution. What is the solution to get out of this, under this influence of kāla-śakti? So the solution is to go back to Godhead, to go back home. And what is the process of going back home? The process is to hear about the Supreme Lord and his names, forms, pastimes, activities, paraphernalia, basically reading about Krishna, hearing about Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam, and chanting the holy names. But the foolish people, they don't know this process, and they also don't want to know. They have no interest. They want to hear something about which is temporary, which is not going to give them any good. So I would like to stop here and see if there's any corrections, discussion, questions.
Hare Krishna, Devi-murti Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Very nice. You have very nicely expanded, and I love the point about Sita defining, oh, this is the Grahameti situation. She's already become an expert in this thing. Very nice, bringing up children in the Krishna conscious way. And he very nicely explained the verse. Thank you. So the bubbles appearing in the waves of this material, of the material ocean. It is said that even Lord Brahma's lifetime is like a bubble. Because of the infinite time, even Lord Brahma's lifetime appears as a small bubble and goes like that. Then what to speak of ours? We may be just, barely visible in that ocean, our small lifetime. Still, we get so consumed by the burden of material existence. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for encouragement. Thank you for adding this wonderful point. Yes, we get so absorbed, and we think we have time immemorial to enjoy this body and enjoy whatever resources we have. Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much for stressing that point, the power of kāla-śakti. So I was just thinking, so I mean, yes, Sandhya Mataji was saying, so it is really difficult for us to think that okay, how much time we have, right? I mean, it looks like, I mean, from childhood, I mean, we got this time, right? Very quickly, it looks like. I mean, but we never think that the life goes so fast, right?
Mm.
So it is very, very, Kadambakan Maharaj was telling about his experience. So I was just remembering, I mean, initially the childhood is very, very jovial and good, but then when the when a person gets children and all, it goes very fast, right? The next 25 years, it goes very, very fast. And after that, it'll be, I mean, difficult. I mean, it was, I was just thinking, I mean, the power of time is so much. I mean, we don't even think that something is going to happen to us, right? I mean,
Mm.
just thinking about what is happening in West Asia. Suddenly, I mean, one fine morning, right? People just attacked from all directions. I mean, they never thought that something is going to happen. I mean, hundreds and thousands of people are dying, right? I mean, it's such a powerful country, but I mean, nobody can stop, right? Just because just for one moment is enough, right, to finish us off. So it is so powerful the time. So I mean, I was just remembering the Bhagavad Gita also what Krishna was showing to Arjuna, the universal form. So it was very powerful time. Yeah. So, but people, we think that we continue to enjoy what we have it, right? I mean, we try to again accumulate and try to enjoy, so thinking that it will never end, right? So,
Yes.
yeah, so
Yes.
much.
Thank you, Prabhu, for adding the point. Yes. When I was studying in India, we used to, in our first year of my bachelor's, we used to have skulls, our own personal skulls, human skulls that we had to study. We had to study all the bones and the muscle attachments. So I used to think that, oh, this is someone's skull. Like, I won't have the same skull in my body. Like, my body is different. But I would never accept the fact that one day I will be the same. Like, somebody may be carrying my skull and studying using my skull. So yeah, we don't think that we're gonna die one day, and we think that this is going to be eternal. This life is eternal, and yeah, thank you, Lakshmikant Prabhu, for the opportunity.
We can't hear you, Prabhu. Haridwani Prabhu, if you're speaking.
Oh, yeah. I thought somebody was speaking. I just wanted to thank you, Mataji, for your conviction on the philosophy of Bhagavatam and presenting it. I'm striving to have that conviction. So it was just so inspiring to hear no filters or no crowd pleasing, which many times I think I get into. So it was so wonderful to hear. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu. I'm trying to get that conviction myself by the mercy of devotees here and by mercy of Guru and Krishna. I wish one day I can also get that conviction. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much for the class. It was nice to hear from you after a long time.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, very nice class. Makes me realize now that I am at a point where, you spend your time, your day and night, working hard. And now we should try to think about like focusing more on the spiritual aspect of life and why we did what we did, and makes you kind of go through the whole whole lifestyle that we will live with. So
Yeah.
nice. It was a good eye-opener. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, I think it's already 8 o'clock. Thank you, all the devotees, for your.
Gopal Hari Prabhu is saying something, Mataji.
Sorry.
Sorry. Mataji.
Well, I was just saying that the kāla-śakti, it's described as being blue, and Krishna's color is also blue. So I'm not sure, I couldn't attend everything with Balaram, but I was just sure if you explained why that's blue.
So in the purport, it's written that due to this polluted mentality of the fruitive workers and their sins, the collection of sins and their polluted mentality, the aggregate combination of living entities appeared to be bluish. So that's I think this blue color is because of this mode of ignorance that is collected by the sins and the living entities having the basically this done by living entities and their sins. So this appeared as a bluish in color. So Krishna sees that his transcendental body as bluish. Maybe you can explain better, you, Prabhu.
That's very, thank you. So the thing is, then why does Krishna take the color of the mode of ignorance as his own color of blue?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Sandhya Mataji can help.
Hare Krishna. Not at all. I'm just thinking. I have no clue. Hare Krishna.
Well, I was just thinking one possible answer could be that Krishna, that originally everything is transcendental. So Krishna's blue is not the same as material blue. Krishna's blue is completely transcendental. And in the material world, blue or black, characterized by the mode of ignorance, white is goodness, and passion is red. But in Krishna's context, everything is the most beautiful. And actually, one place Prabhupada says that what is highest in the spiritual world becomes lowest in the material world, because it's a reflection. So the most beautiful color in the spiritual world is blue. Krishna's color is blue. But in the material world, it represents the mode of ignorance. Also, one place Prabhupada says that one time he was installing white Krishna deities. Like everywhere in ISKCON, we see most places, Krishna's marble is white. So someone was asking Prabhupada, why are you installing white Krishna rather than black Krishna when his color is black? And Prabhupada said that the black of this world is not any closer to the black of the spiritual world than the white of this world. The white of this world is not any closer to the black of the spiritual, or any more different than the black of the material world. So that's how transcendental Krishna's color is. We say that Krishna is blue and black because when the sages and the devotees have seen Krishna, then the color that's closest in the material world is black and blue. But actually, that color is of a completely different nature. It's not like the black and blue of this world. So, yeah. That's just some thoughts, thinking that maybe this may be the reason. And like Prabhupada also one place says that the sky is blue because the radiance of Mahavishnu's body is bluish. Therefore, the sky is blue. But on the other hand, the material blue is not like the spiritual blue. So
Thank you.
Is just...
Thank you. Any other?
One thing was coming to me, Prabhu. I mean, the material and spiritual. When we are thinking about Varaha Avatar, right? I mean, Prabhupada was talking about there. I mean, even the Lord takes that form, right? It's with all beautiful. So, right? So, I mean, whatever form the Lord takes. I was just remembering that quote from Prabhupada. Thank you.
That's a nice example, Prabhu. Yeah. Yes, that's that he becomes a pig. Another example is also the gopis, right? Their affection for Krishna in this material world it becomes most abominable, but in the spiritual world, it's the highest thing, that unwedded love.
Yeah. Thank you all for joining. Pancha kalpa tarubhescha kripa sindhu bevacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.